Few challenges frustrate gardeners more than compost that dries out too quickly. You add all the right scraps, balance your greens and browns, but weeks later the pile is bone dry and the microbes you've nurtured are struggling to survive. Recently, I stumbled upon a secret ingredient that completely changed the game. Not only did it keep the compost moist for months, but it also dramatically accelerated decomposition and boosted microbial activity. This isn't some gimmick. It's a method rooted in historical soil practices and ecological understanding. And over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through why it works, how to apply it, and how it can transform your garden or survival plot. Understanding why moisture is critical for compost. Microbes, the invisible workforce behind composting, cannot function without water. They need a moist environment to move, feed, and reproduce. Too little moisture, and they go dormant. Too much, and they suffocate. Historically, farmers knew this intuitively. In ancient Japan, for example, rice paddies and compost heaps were carefully layered with straw or husks to retain moisture, while early European gardeners used straw and manure to create slow-decaying, damp pockets in their fields. The secret ingredient I discovered operates on the same principle. It holds water within the compost structure, slowly releasing it as needed, maintaining a consistent environment for microbial activity. The secret ingredient that changed everything. The ingredient is simple, abundant, and, well, often overlooked. Biochar, or charcoal. Charcoal is incredibly porous, almost sponge-like at the microscopic level. When added to compost, it absorbs water and nutrients, then releases them gradually as the pile dries, maintaining a balanced, moist environment for months. Unlike straw or leaves, which eventually decompose and lose their moisture-holding ability, charcoal remains stable for years, continually supporting microbial life. In historical contexts, civilizations from the Amazonian terra preta soils to medieval European farms used charcoal to enhance soil fertility, often without fully understanding why. It was simply observed to improve crop yields and soil health. Preparing compost with the moisture-retaining ingredient. To apply this, begin with your normal compost pile. Greens, browns and kitchen scraps layered as usual. Crush the charcoal into smaller pieces to maximize surface area, then mix it evenly throughout the compost. Moistening the charcoal slightly before mixing helps it start absorbing water immediately, and, prevents the nitrogen from your greens from being lost as ammonia gas. I learned that a roughly 1:5 ratio of charcoal to other compost materials works well for most backyard gardens. In survivalist setups, even a small amount of charcoal can make a dramatic difference in water retention, reducing the need to constantly monitor or water your pile. How it keeps compost moist over time is really quite fascinating. Once incorporated, the charcoal functions like a reservoir. Microbes can draw moisture from it during dry spells, keeping decomposition active even when the surrounding environment is arid. The porous structure also traps nutrients and gases released during decay, feeding microbes and preventing the loss of valuable compounds. During my own trial, I noticed that while adjacent piles without charcoal dried out within 2 weeks, the charcoal-amended pile stayed visibly moist for over a month without additional watering. This consistency allowed microbial populations to flourish, accelerating composting and producing a richer, darker humus more quickly than traditional methods. Even with the charcoal, occasional monitoring is still important. You want to check moisture levels every week or so, especially during those hot, dry spells. The pile should feel like a wrung-out sponge, damp but not soggy. Turning the compost every few weeks helps distribute moisture evenly and allows microbes to access nutrients more efficiently. I often sprinkle small amounts of finished compost or soil on top of the pile to introduce additional microbial diversity, which really boosts overall decomposition and ensures that every layer benefits from the moisture-retaining effect of the charcoal. Over time, this practice creates a self-sustaining system that, honestly, requires far less intervention than traditional composting methods. The benefits extend far beyond the compost pile. When added to planting beds, this moisture-enhanced compost improves soil structure, increases water retention, and promotes healthier, deeper root systems. In survivalist gardens, it's a game-changer. It reduces the need for frequent watering while supporting sustained plant growth. I used it in raised beds and direct sow plots, and the difference was dramatic. Seedlings grew faster, plants were more resilient to dry spells, and overall yield improved noticeably. Historical farming practices often relied on similar principles, burying decomposed organic matter enriched with charcoal or other moisture-holding materials to create long-lasting fertility in fields and orchards. The beauty of adding charcoal to compost is its simplicity and effectiveness. Beginners can apply it without complex formulas or expensive materials, while experienced gardeners can experiment with ratios, layering techniques, and integration with other organic amendments. Beyond productivity, it teaches the importance of soil microbiology, moisture balance, and historical wisdom in sustainable agriculture. For anyone interested in building resilient, fertile gardens or prepping survival plots, this method offers a low-maintenance, historically grounded approach that produces tangible, long-lasting results. Adding a moisture-retaining ingredient like charcoal to your compost is more than just a trick. It's a strategy that blends history, biology, and practical gardening. It keeps your compost alive, vibrant and productive, feeding your soil and plants consistently while reducing labour and water use. If you found this guide valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Farm Logic and share this video with fellow gardeners, history enthusiasts and survivalists. Every subscription and share helps us explore more techniques that combine historical insight with practical applications to transform your soil, garden and long-term growing success.